This week, we check out Fantastic Four movie that had the most problems. But is this often maligned movie better or worse than you remember? Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Oh, that's the wrong button. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Porters, and joining me today, he wanted to beat up every nerd in this movie. Sweet Sean Zagovac from the internet.
Victor, stop! We're not gods. We're just people.
And just like the Thing, he too is pantless this episode. Bruce Leslie.
With legs like these, baby, you don't need pants.
No, you can't hide that. You don't hide your talent from everyone else, you know? Don't hide yourself in a bushel. Go out there and you show the world what's going on. Well, welcome back, Dirty Babies. It's time for another HMP. And with this month, we got all these new Fantastic Four movies coming out in the theater. So we decided we're going to get leading up to that Fantastic Four first steps. We're going to check out all the eras of the actions, or the live action Fantastic Four movies. We covered the 94 Corman classic. We covered the Tim Story's Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer from 2007. And just before we get to see that new one, we're going to talk the Fantastic Four movie that was supposed to start a whole brand new franchise, but didn't work out. And we'll talk about why that may or not have actually happened. Now, we reviewed this show in HMP Volume 1, and I don't think I've seen it since then. Could the same be said for either of you, fellas?
Why would you watch this movie unless you had to watch it?
Fair point. Bruce, no? No, you're not cracking open a Fantastic Four in a weekend?
No. All
right, well, we'll see. But there's a lot of interesting things to talk about here. And like, honestly, I was surprised going back at this movie. I thought I would have a lot of the same thoughts. I have some of the same thoughts, but many very different. I think time has been interesting on this one. We'll get to all of that. But before we do us a big old giant favor. Why don't you take your time and head over, subscribe to this show over there on the YouTubes. We are live when we're doing this show on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch and everything. So come on out, join the chat room, talk with your fellow HMP fans from across the globe. Everybody's in here. We do stream the show on Sunday nights, so we hope that you'll join for that live stream and other like-minded dirty babies, of course, chat. And of course, man, if you go ahead and throw in a super chat there, aka Portress Bucks.
Portress Bucks.
I didn't put it up loud enough. Let me do that again.
Portress Bucks.
There it is. So Portress Bucks, you can do those as well. And if you'd like to just hear that jolly tune, we'd really like to hear from you. And of course, check out all the other videos and stuff that we do on YouTube. I just dropped the my SVS 5000 Revolution subwoofer first impressions video. It took a lot out of me to actually make that. I had a very long week of a lot of self-doubt. I hated myself all this week, and I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any of this. But I went through it, and I'm proud of what I put out at the end of the day. So please go and watch that. I'd really appreciate that. And just remember, be it this show or any of the other things that we do, any of the shorts that you might see on YouTube and stuff like that, any likes, comments, shares, and all that kind of stuff just helps build this show up and keep going a little bit bigger and a little bit better. We are almost we're over. We're about like 600 away from the 20,000 subscribers there and everything. So we're trekking along fast there. So it's working good. Now, once we get past that 20, it's going to be a real pip from that point because all the celebrations are going to come in fives. But I want to do more than fives. I want to do them in tens and stuff then. So the only way we can do that is by you liking, subscribing, and talking all that kind of good smack over there on the YouTubes and everywhere else. So we really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. And if you really love this show, and I mean you love it a whole heck of a whole lot, why don't you go over to patreon.com/HMP. There you get pre-show, post-show, Dinger Zone. This week's Dinger Zone, we are talking our top 5 Michael B. Jordan movies because Michael B. Jordan is in this Fantastic Four film. Now, we might not be using him to the best of his abilities in this movie, but we're going to talk about movies where we did kind of use him to the best of his abilities and stuff like that. And if you want to check that out, head on over to patreon.com/HMP. Join up at any level, whatever this show means to you. If we disappeared out there, what would it take to take us back? Just drop that in dollar form and put it over there. Get yourself extra content at the exact same time. And again, if you can't do that, for heaven's sake, just go over to the YouTube. Start liking, subscribing, and stuff over there. That costs you $0. So we really appreciate all of you very, very fine folks. And if you'd like to, drop us an email. halfassmoviepod@gmail.com. All right, gentlemen. You ready to get into it? I'm excited. Maybe excited is not the right word, but
I'm kind of excited. This has been a very interesting Fantastic Four month. I think the last two movies I've had very different feelings at the end than I did at the beginning. I want to see if that happened at all on this one. I want to see how you guys felt about this. I have not seen this since the weekend of release when I saw it in the theater. So it was almost like seeing it for the first time because I worked real hard to forget it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into it here. Here is the IMDb plotline. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. If I could do the screen correctly for everyone else. And here we go. 4 young outsiders teleport to an alternate and dangerous universe which alters their physical form in shocking ways. The 4 must learn to harness their new abilities and work together to save Earth from a former friend turned enemy. Not bad, IMDb. For IMDb, pretty darn good, that one. This is written by Jeremy Slater, who did The Lazarus Effect, Stinker, Death Note on Netflix, Abomination, 20 episodes of The Exorcist TV show, never heard of it, but there you go. A few episodes of Moon Knight and Godzilla X vs. Kong, which even I thought was a little bit boring, okay? So that tells you that more misses than hits with that guy. Simon Kinberg, that guy was all over the place, from XXX State of the Union, then Mr. and Mrs. Smith, then Jumper, then Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. Oh, but don't worry, we got X-Men Days of Future Past, but we also got X-Men Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix and X-Men Last Stand. It's a wild ride. And of course, Josh Trank also co-wrote this. This is directed by Josh Trank, who directed Chronicle and then this. And in 2007, even before Chronicle, he actually directed 5 episodes of a TV show that you've never heard of. It's called The Killing Point. It starred John Leguizamo and Donnie Wahlberg. Ever heard of that?
Wow.
I want to check this out, though. The Killing Point?
The Kill Point.
The Kill Point with John Leguizamo.
One season of TV. I mean, 13 episodes. He directed 5 of them, so that's something. But that was even before Chronicle and everything, which is weird. So he does have a movie in pre-production right now called Send a Scare, and here's what I know about it. It's a horror startup. Excuse me, let me start. A horror startup letting users send scares gets deadly when a real killer takes over their investor demo. We'll see if that thing ever gets off the ground.
Man, they're trying so hard. Good luck to you all.
Yeah. This is starring Miles Teller, Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Bell, Tony Kibble, Homer Simpson makes a cameo, and the late, great Reg E. Cathy, one of the best voices in cinema. Rest in peace for that guy, man.
Right on, my brother.
Yeah, let me tell you, there's nothing better than seeing Reg E. Cathy in your brand new flick. I love that guy. Just seeing him back on screen, it put a smile to my face. It did.
I've missed the guy. We haven't had a chance, obviously since he's passed, we haven't had a real opportunity to talk about him in a few years, but it's nice bringing back those memories.
Yeah.
He has a voice to be like a voiceover guy, like in every Disney movie ever. And they never utilized him that way. And that's on us. That's on all of us. We're sorry.
Or like video
Reggie
game
Cathy.
villains like left and right. That should have been his bag,
Yeah. We totally should have used him to his full potential. That's on us. I'm sorry, Reggie Cathy.
I tell you what, though, Keith David's just like, hold on now. Like, listen, you can give up a couple of things for Reg over here. Give him a break.
No kidding.
You get all of those roles.
You
pal.
got a big enough house already.
Man, did you see, like, this was super sweet. Did y'all see when like his kids essentially bought like, they arranged for his walk on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and everything?
Oh, that's cool.
And he didn't know, and they filmed it and everything. So they were like, hey, Dad, we're going to watch all this, the Walk of Fame announcements and stuff. He's like, okay. And they're kind of secretly filming him and everything. And then his name comes up and you can just see his eyes light up. What? What is like, awesome. Happy birthday, Dad. He was like, oh my Lord. So that's sweet awesome. And wonderful.
That is
good
great.
Job.
Good stuff. But yeah, man, this movie, I remember absolutely hating this movie, and I'll kind of tip a little bit ahead of time. I didn't hate this movie as much as I thought I would. I thought I would be really disgusted and just kind of like mad the entire time. And I kind of started watching the clock initially and going, when does it fail? When does it fall off? When is that point where I go, this is acceptable for what a Fantastic Four movie would be, and then fall off? And I got to say, it went a lot further than I suspected it would.
I think we're going to agree on this one a lot, Adam. And I'm going to say that I don't know if I've ever brought more baggage into a movie than I brought into this one, watching it this time around. I have a seething hatred for this film, but I've only watched it once. Like I said earlier in the show, I saw this on opening weekend. All I remember is nothing but seething hatred. I was not at all looking forward to watching it again, but I think it was a healthy exercise in my recovery as a human being.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys. I'm glad that you got that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is not good.
Oh, we're not. I don't think we're saying it's good, but okay.
No, I understand that. It does not deserve the hatred that it got at the time, for sure. But the point that I'm trying to bring up here is that last week there was somebody, man, I can't remember who it was, who said, I think there is a real possibility that this movie has the same problem that something like, I don't know, Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull had, except there's a real reason why it's like that in the Fantastic Four 2015 movie. It's because the director was basically told, hey, Amscray fella, we've got it from here.
Yeah.
And so I can't remember who that was. Do you guys remember who that was who said that last week?
I remember the conversation, but it wouldn't have been me that said it. So it was one of you two.
Listen, I'll call it. I'll say it. Sure, why not? I'll take credit.
I'm sorry, fellas, it was me. That was a trap, Portress.
I don't know.
Trap again.
I don't know. Listen, do you think I pay attention to things I say? Much less you say. Come on.
We all know that you don't. I don't even know why you asked that question. Sometimes I'm like, does he know where he's going? I don't even know why I asked that question.
But every now and then, baby, I get right back on track.
Boom! There it is. But, the thing about this movie, about the Fantastic Four 2015, right, is that we knew that there were extensive reshoots that were done for this. Like, the amount of time they spent on reshooting the Fantastic Four movie was so above and beyond what you're used to hearing from big movies when they do reshoots, because for the most part all big movies do reshoots at this point.
Yeah,
but that's like 2 weeks, a month of
2-3
reshoots.
weeks. Mm-hmm.
And the Fantastic Four reshoots were like 4 months. Like, you know what? I'm overblowing it
longer
here.
than the principal photography. It sounds like
it wasn't that, but it was a lot longer than your general reshoots go. It was more than double the time that reshoots are. And so when we heard that, that's when we knew, like, oh, something's going on over there, and it's probably not great. And so, and then like at the time, 2015, boy, what a time. Am I right, guys?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, Adam, you were having your marital problems. I was having my marital problems. Bruce, you were having trouble as well, but not maritally. I don't think in 2015 at that point.
He hated that dog at that time. I know that.
I don't know.
And so, we needed to focus our hatred and our anger. And why not focus it on this Fantastic Four 2015 movie?
This movie made me feel bad. I hate it. I hate it so much.
We found who we recommend this to. If you need something to channel your hatred on, this is our worst things you could channel.
It did kind of become a bit of a whipping post where it was just like, I tell you what, everything that we hate about what and let's be honest, think about it. I just thought about this now. But like where we were with comic book movies in 2015, where we've been rocking and rolling comic book movies for a solid 15 years at this point, and we've seen Fantastic Four many a time. So it feels like we should have something that, like, we should be able to rock and roll with this franchise at this point. In 2015, you should be working well here. We've got Avengers game, things under our belts at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no reason that this couldn't be pretty darn good.
Yeah, and maybe that's part of the reason. There's also a slapdash feel to this movie that the Fantastic Four movies before this don't have. Like, don't get me wrong, those movies, as we said last week, are also not very good, but they do feel whole. Like, it doesn't feel like there was a ton of meddling. It doesn't feel like things were pieced together with duct tape like this movie feels. And so it also had that going against it. And so when you're watching this now that time has passed and, Adam is used to being a divorcee and I'm used to being a divorcee, our hatred isn't nearly at the levels that it was in 2015.
It's dissipated. We've all chilled a little.
Exactly. We've gotten a little older, a little grayer, a little sexier. But I think that when it comes to this movie, when you have, it has the opposite effect of a lot of bad movies when it comes to nerd stuff. Because, you know, nerds tend to have that tendency of, this is the greatest movie ever, this is the worst movie ever.
Yeah.
And at the time, this movie just fell into, this is the worst movie ever made, when it really isn't. It's just not good.
Yeah, it's mediocre, but but again, when you understand the production problems of this, at the end of it, I was kind of shocked at how decent, given its problems, what it accomplished, because it could have been so much worse. They cobbled together something doable enough for release. It wasn't going to be something that lit the world on fire because all the elements just weren't there, and it was like you're really playing a lot of catch up and everything. But with what they had to work with, it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
So much worse.
Yeah.
They don't, the nice part is, I suppose, is that because we're kind of, you know, we've taken out, like, I think they said Trank wanted like 2.5 hours or some shit, something ridiculous.
Oh,
right?
Come on.
So, but like not having a whole bunch of that stuff, it keeps things kind of light. It keeps things moving for the most part. It, you know, you may not like choices that they're making, but they're often not very dull choices. Everything looks very cool for the most part. Like, I do love the design on stuff. Yeah, there are certain scenes that look absolutely garbage, and we'll talk about those for sure.
And I'm not just talking about the technical level. Even the production design of a lot of scenes in this, you're just like, come on, guys.
Depending upon where they are and stuff. Like the lab stuff's great. The lab stuff's all good.
Yeah.
I'll just say that I didn't find myself being bored. And my memory of this was a very, very boring film. And that's what makes me hate something, to get that seething hatred. I kind of remembered that it was 2.5 hours long. So boy, I was thrilled when it wasn't.
Yeah.
And but when I was watching it, I wasn't checking my watch. I wasn't getting bored. When you realize that it is about to end, it seems a little abrupt. Maybe we'll get to a wee bit of a breakdown. But I can absolutely feel the pacing where this guy was trying to make a 2.5 hour movie. And I'll say that it might not have failed as badly if it had been his kind of filmmaking all the way through. It wouldn't have been a Fantastic Four movie, but it might have been an interesting sci-fi kind of movie.
Because I like the aspect of kind of body horror and stuff that we put into this, which like is great for like a 21st century kind of thing. It's like, let's update this and whatnot, because this would be scary and frightening for you to be stretching all over the place, your body building of rocks or disappearing, or for God's sake, on fire every time. And the fire, like, come on, the Human Torch looks fantastic.
He looks awesome.
We finally got fire that looks really, really good. I like the light behind the eyes and the mouth and stuff. Give it a little bit of differentiation right there. It's surprisingly decent. I'm just, you know, it's still a pet peeve. They got close on, and you know, Ben Grimm. We got the right size and everything. He's so close, but yet so far at the exact same time. It's a little bit bananas.
It didn't bother me as much this time around. I do wish, call it a nitpick, I wish they put some pants on the guy, because I'm used to Ben Grimm and his briefs and his little BVDs. I wish they'd put some on him. And also, when you don't put some on him, then I got some questions about what happened to his anatomy, which I'd rather not be distracted by those. Just put some shorts on the guy.
Yeah, where, like, if Alicia's going to come over and just be like, what am I doing here? What is this? Rock Man?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
This is no good. Give him some pants. Just give the man a little bit of dignity and some shape. I'm aware that he's rock, but my God, give him some shoulders, some definition, make some lines on him to make it look humanoid in some way, shape, or form, will you?
I don't disagree with the thing you're saying, Adam, but I will say that he was better than I remembered.
Oh, no. Yeah, definitely better than I remember as well. And like, there are some scenes where you're like, ooh, that actually looks pretty good. And if you like just did, you know, a little bit more forehead stuff like that, it wouldn't be too bad. But like, it's just, especially in like some wider shots, the shot at the end and everything, when they're all standing together and you really get a nice, good look at them in the proper light and whatnot. It's not good. It's the design wise. I'm not talking, because CGI is fine enough for what it is. I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with how it's designed and looks.
The thing that I like most about Ben Grimm in this movie is the small moments. Like when he's, the thing about Chickless's thing is that he's always like, yeah, like the loudest, like Hey,
Mhm.
everybody, it's clobbering time. You know, like he's
got to
always
talk
going.
through those teeth, so he's got to let you know, you know?
But the Jamie Bell, who is woefully miscast,
Yeah.
should never have been cast as Ben Grimm. But I love the small moments as he's the Thing, where he's giving Reed hell, and he's speaking sort of under his breath. He's
Mhm.
like, gonna run away again, like stuff like that. That part is great. It's just when the person you have cast is absolutely the wrong person to be playing that character, you're already at a deficit, and that's what this film had to go up against.
So
Yeah,
Jamie,
and I think we'll all agree he's a fine actor and everything,
Yeah,
but it's
I
just like
love
this
Jamie
is not
Bell,
where
but I
you're.
hate
This
him in
don't where he
this.
belong. Yeah.
I once again, something that I hated the first time around was Jamie Bell as Ben Grimm for all those reasons that you said there, Sean. I don't disagree with any of them, but I went with it just a little bit more here. I mean, he doesn't really communicate big, tough Jewish kid to me,
Right.
but I kind of was going with it a little bit more here. I don't know where this forgiving soul has come from. It is definitely not my baseline.
I
he
think
didn't
I
bother
know
me here.
where that comes from, Bruce. It's because when we first meet Ben Grimm, we find out that he's a junkyard boy.
I
And
love my junkyard kids.
You do love junkyard boys, and so it's one of those things where it's like, it sure feels like Jamie Bell. He's a little too classy. So let's say that his character was born and raised in a junkyard.
Yeah, they're like, well, they can tell his English accent just by looking at him. So we gotta do something extra, you know?
Right. He's cripplingly British in real life. So for him to be Ben Grimm, it's just such a poor choice. So poor. And there's also that scene where the older brother and his friends are like picking on Ben, and then like mom comes outside basically with like a pot and starts hitting the big kids
I
with
love
the pot.
that.
It's just so like there's still DNA in this movie of the Fantastic Four, where clearly they're still thinking from a perspective of when the Fantastic Four were first created. So there's a lot of like 60s stuff still in this movie, which doesn't work when you're trying to make a real life, like what would happen if the Fantastic Four were real,
Yeah, it's one of those pick a lane moments where not everyone picked the same lane.
They're the most white trash Jewish people you've ever seen in your entire life.
Well,
Hilarious.
they're also not coded as Jewish in this movie.
Now they do.
They're
well,
coded as Italian.
He does, yeah, but they do
There's
have.
a
They at
menorah,
least had a menorah in there, so in the design. So I'm like, okay, at least it's as simple and stupid a throwaway as that is. It's just like, all right, it feels like it checked a box enough for me. I'm like, all right, I'll let you pass.
But they're not coded as a Jewish family at all. They're totally coded as Italian.
I just want to say that as a guy who has grown up, lived probably 90% of my life in rural Appalachia, it's really nice to get this inside look in what the family dynamics and the daily life in your average New York Jewish family's like. So I really appreciate it.
Just your average Jewish family in New York in 2015. Sure. I do like that Chet Hanks is the asshole brother in this.
That is cool. I also do like that they're on Long Island, because that junkyard is on Long Island, which I was like, oh, that's cool that they're not pretending that it's in like Queens or the Bronx.
2 blocks from Central Park.
Exactly. But to get to while we're in this phase of this movie, I was so I want this movie to be better, and we said that before the first time we reviewed this movie. Like, we want all of these movies to be great. But one of the things that kept setting me off, as I stated earlier, is the production design and the props and things. So like the movie starts out pretty great because it's 5th grade, right? And Dan Castellaneta is cast as his teacher. And it's like, oh, that's really awesome. Like, great. That's really cool that they cast him in this role. What a great coup that you have this guy who secretly everyone knows who he is already. Mm-hmm. But then they pan back a little bit and there's a frickin' apple on his desk. And I was like, come on, guys. Like, are we really?
I did roll my eyes a little bit at that. I was just
Are
like,
we
really? A big old
going
bright
with
red apple
the
right there?
apple on the teacher's desk here. Come on.
In the year
And
of our
it's-
Lord
it's-
2015.
It's ultimately like it's just a snapshot of ultimately what's wrong with this movie. So like, let's flash forward if you guys are okay. Let me flash forward to like the science fair, right? So you're at the science fair, and they're still using trifold cardboard to set up their science fair project.
Oh, but the 11-year later one, or the several years later, once they're in high school doing the thing, you mean?
When they're seniors,
when they're older.
Right. And so that's one problem. Like that, not everyone would have that. Maybe like 2 or 3 people's parents were like, you need to have that trifold cardboard background, but literally everyone has it. And secondly, why is Reed's teacher from 5th grade judging the high school science fair?
It's a very small town in New York.
Yes.
It's how it goes. If you have kids that you want to continue to pick on when they go to high school, you have to be the principal.
If I can still bang on this science fair for a second. You had another point. I'm sorry for
real quick though, just to show you how weird this kind of does happen and everything. My elementary school principal was also my high school principal. He transferred
but you do
over.
Understand that is a bizarre circumstance.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's like
weird.
a 1 in a million thing. My elementary school principal was not my high school principal also.
And also, I don't know about your school there, Sean, but I think you told me you went to private school, so none of us.
I did not go to private school.
I thought you went to a Catholic school. I did go. I had to go to Catholic school because I was a bad kid. And little did my parents know, every bad habit that I would have into adulthood came from Catholic school. But I did that for 2 years, and then I almost got kicked out of Catholic school, so I had to go back to public. Okay. Well, anyway, I don't think any of us went to school districts quite the size of those they're going to have in America's most populous school districts.
Right.
Probably.
No.
So here is the biggest problem I have with the high school science fair. At the time of shooting, Jamie Bell is 29 years old.
Yeah.
At this high school science fair.
Everyone
and
does.
Miles Teller is a very, very young 28 years old at the science fair, at the high school science fair. This is, in a nutshell, the full problem with this film is that if you are letting those things go, if you are like, listen, we're just going to roll with this anyway, with those moments, there's no way you're going to get the big moments right. There's no way your Dr. Doom is completely great and going to save your movie. It's just not going to happen. And that is what encapsulates what's so wrong with this film to me.
I just, since we're kind of still in the vague neighborhood of the beginning of the film here and everything, I love, now granted, there's a bit of this movie itself that's based on the Fantastic Four Ultimate books, the Ultimate Fantastic Four books and stuff like that, where they end up getting their powers from the negative zone. And this, while we don't call it the negative zone for all intents and purposes, this is the negative zone.
Oh, do they not call it the negative zone in this movie?
No,
They call it Planet Zero.
Planet Zero.
Oh
Don't make
my
no sense.
God, those
It's like,
cowards.
it's like, this is the negative zone. What are you talking about? It's comic books. It's so simple. Again, we're in 2015. We live in a time when this is okay to say things like negative zone. It's fine. What's the
cowards?
But like them kind of this movie starts out a lot like the book does, of like with Reed tinkering in his garage and everything like that. A lot of the production design also looks a lot like the actual art in the book and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And they clearly looked at that and go, oh, look, some inspiration here. And a lot of it's like all that stuff's real. I love that kid. I think the kid actor for Reed is really, really good. I felt like that kid was going to be smarter than everybody in his class. And again, when Fantastic Four and all of the other kind of, be it this or like Spider-Man or anything, when they lean into people being smart, I love it. There's just so many times when that would never be a thing. But this movie, very specifically from really beginning, almost on in, is about people being intelligent. Is about people using their brains and their smarts to end up solving their problems and stuff like that. Now, of course, they have all of the things that they have and whatnot, but ultimately it's smart people involved here, just flexing their brains and stuff like that. And I like that they kept that and just didn't subsert to the whole superhero sort of thing. There's the montage is math.
I'm going to say that my biggest criticism of this movie could tie into what we're seeing here with the science fair. And that's because, to me, Reed Richards isn't Peter Parker.
Right.
Reed Richards doesn't need to be in high school. One thing that I believe has always been a hallmark of Reed's character is that he's kind of the father figure of the Fantastic Four. And by extension, for a while, was sort of a father figure for the whole Marvel comic book universe. So we've already got Peter Parker. We've already got plenty of mutants in the high school age range. Bringing Reed down to also be at roll your eyes.
The same high school as Ben, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're right.
Exactly. So that's what bothered me more than anything else. I think they should have started off like the comics do in college, not in elementary school. I feel like this.
So have the elementary school thing, because I like the elementary school bit, but have that skip the rest of the high school, and then you're doing that bit at college. That
Empire
makes sense.
State. Yeah, that would make more sense. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I do think that there was some. I don't know. There had to be pressure from somebody somewhere to catch a younger demographic by not making Reed, 30 years old. I don't know.
Again, it's one of those they want to continue.
No, it feels like such a stupid note to a script.
Didn't work for me.
Well, I think ultimately they wanted him, they wanted all these guys for a big giant series that they planned on having, and things.
Are we early in the sphere of influence of the first season of Stranger Things in 2015?
Oh wow. I don't think so, man.
No, I think
Stranger Things is a little past.
A little bit later, because you kind of have just a touch of that feeling. I'm going to say Super 8 then. They give us a real Super 8 opening, a Steven Spielberg style kind of opening with the kids and building the thing out in the shack.
Hold on. I that's one of the things I want to talk about.
Let's do it.
That is not a shack, sir. That is a garage. That garage is like the garage that Steve Jobs claimed that he founded Apple in. Like, it's like the most Hollywood perfect garage. It is such a set. It's so false. It is yet another thing to indict this movie, where it's like nobody has a garage like that, and especially not some kid has free access where no one else is going to go in there. I know they had some random bit of dialogue where it was like a throwaway line, like, "Oh, my stepdad's afraid to go in there," or whatever it is.
Yeah,
that is straight garbage. I'm sorry. Continue, Bruce.
Wait, hold on. I want to tell you that garage, a little something special about that garage. You're right. That garage is not any kind of normal garage. That is Biff Tannen's garage from Back to the Future.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Isn't that great?
That's great.
That's why it doesn't. It looks awful familiar.
Is that a backlot garage, or is that
it's
just?
Gotta be. I mean, it totally has to be, man. I mean, if it's still standing,
They're like, we'll use this for a bajillion things. All I got to do is just change a couple things, throw a couple things here and there. Boom.
Yeah.
Put up a Dolly Parton poster. You're set to go.
Oh man, and who doesn't want that Dolly Parton poster in there?
Man, somebody do.
2007 garage.
So yeah, all of that stuff's fine. You're right. I wish we would have just kind of gone to college. It would have made a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Victor, because that's certainly a big level of this. Again, I thought I would really hate him seeing him the first time, like last time. And again, I didn't really hate him. And I'll go ahead and say it. I didn't hate this movie up until, I would say, about when he comes out, as kind of Doom proper and everything. Up until that point, I don't have too many problems with the movie. I mean, I got a couple, your obvious and stuff like that. Your miscasting of Jamie Bell and your kind of randomness of it and everything. But as far as I'm still on board up until that point, really.
Yeah, I was. I found that this guy, Toby Kebbell, Cabell. I kind of think that he was a pretty good Doom. I remembered him as being terrible, but I know that he kind of does have that combination of arrogance as well as a little bit of menace that I've been looking for.
He does also feel like he could be smart too. Like he could be one of those guys that's
absolutely.
He feels like a smart dude.
Yeah.
And something about the way he carried himself as the Victor character before he goes to the Planet Zero and becomes Doom. I was wondering if he's channeling a little bit of maybe how he perceives Josh Trank to be. Like that was a nice little fun double standard I had there when I was watching him be his Dr. Doom, is just wondering if perhaps there's the way he's playing Victor when we first meet him is how I imagine Josh Trank directing this movie. I'll just say that.
Yeah, just a lot of I don't really care. I'm getting back and barely just moving, going like, what do you want? What do you want from me? Just leaning back. You're like, is he like, because like when you first see him, you're just like, is he disabled? Is that what we're going? Is that a weird angle that we're going with? All of a sudden, Doom will make him walk or something. Now, thank God they didn't go that route.
He's also doing they do a pretty good job of him being someone that you believe started this whole project in the first place. But they also, and there is a creep factor to him. But then they doubled down on the nerd by giving him the Google Glass.
Yeah.
That he has at the beginning, where it was like, man, that's literally the only real life thing that would make me say, oh, that person is a total and utter nerd.
Yeah, it represents well.
I really think he was doing okay until he does the transformation into Doom. And honestly, I think if they had just made the face look a little bit more like the comics, I mean, they put the green cloak on him. I think if they just made his face look a little bit more like the comics, we could have had a solid Doom instead of just another dud here. I think I could have forgiven some of the other stuff if they at least satisfied me visually, because they were so close.
Well, his introduction as, capital D, Dr. Doom is also just awful in this. It's not enough that the costume is bad, because it's very bad. But just his introduction as the big bad it's just nothing. Like it's nothing. And you want to have that pomp and circumstance and like bombast, like a professional wrestler walking into an arena level when you see Dr. Doom, and this isn't that at all.
The reveal is so sad and pathetic, where they're just like, it's a humanoid figure, and everyone is playing the dumbest of dumb that ever dumbed. Ugh.
Do you think this is the one guy that got left behind last time? Maybe.
Well,
it was a year later. He couldn't still be alive.
Much like a wrestler, a big part of that entrance is the music that's played. And I think the score did not do the actor any favors either with what it did. I couldn't find anything memorable about this score. I don't know any moments where it really accentuated what I was watching or really communicated with me.
It's
Fortress,
very
you are the score expert. What do you think about it?
He's absolutely correct. I had that thought while watching this, just going, there's nothing memorable about any of this music that's in here. It almost feels like temp track kind of stuff. And they're like, we'll come back and figure this out when we get there. Not quite that bad, but close enough to where it's like, it's good temp music.
If we can go backwards, talking about Planet Zero for a second. So when they first have the monkey go back, not go back in time, that's a different movie.
Monkeys go back in time.
When they have the monkey go to Planet Zero for the first time and then comes back successfully, how great would it have been if that monkey comes back as the first villain that the Fantastic Four actually has to fight later?
He was going to be the bad guy in the sequel.
I like that.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. We put him out here in the negative zone. I'm going to call it negative zone. I don't give a damn. Ain't no Planet Zero where I come from.
Planet Zero, Portrait.
Not where I come from. So they put him in Planet Zero. He comes back. He's all jacked up and everything. Or maybe even Doom is out there and has some sort of, whoopsie-doo. And then they have to bring him back. He's all jacked up. That's why we give him this suit. And then that kind of transformation happens and everything. And at that point, the monkey goes bananas. and just starts wreaking havoc. And these guys got to, Reed and Doom need to team up, but ultimately Doom at the
Reed
end still
and
has
Doom need to team up to fight a monkey.
monkey.
I
Get
don't
outta
know. I'm
here.
coming up with. I'm spitballing here.
The monkey comes back, a herald of Galactus.
Oh.
Listen, I at least glad they, I didn't mention this on the last episode, but I love the kind of Heroes Reborn revitalization of the Fantastic Four, where the Silver Surfer is, his, cosmic rays and everything gave the Fantastic Four their powers and stuff. I really like that. To me, that was like, oh, this is very cool to kind of, keep it all together like that. So I thought that was cool there, but I'm also glad that we didn't have to feel that we needed to do that same sort of thing here. And they pulled from that Ultimate Universe where they're like, oh, we'll go negative zone.
Hold on, rewind for a second. There's a storyline where the Silver Surfer ends up giving the Fantastic Four their powers?
Yeah, so the Heroes Reborn thing and everything, when the FF go out to space for the first time and everything, essentially they kind of get caught up, for lack of a better word, in like a contrail or whatever of the Silver Surfer or whatnot, and that kind of ends up giving them their cosmic powers.
Oh.
So it's just substitute the like if he were a comet, that would be his tail on the comet instead of the Van Allen belt, which it was in the 616.
Yeah, but we put the Surfer spin on it and give him some cosmic power. I'm like, oh, that works. I liked it. I thought it was a good idea.
It's right up there with Flash Rebirth, where the Flash was the actual bolt of lightning that created the Flash, a little Ouroboros.
That's a little much right there. We're just like, I created me, huh? Okay, sure. But yeah, it's the Doom outfit that really killed me with everything. Yeah. It was too bad. I did find it interesting, the glowing suit. I thought to a degree that's interesting, but but the face, if the face was a little better, if he was a little bulkier, because he needs to be bigger than this. He's a little shrimpy boy. He's too tiny. He needed, like, again, Bruce and I were looking at the Marvel, comic cards from the early 90s and stuff like that. Doom's supposed to be about 235. Ain't no way, Toby Kibble here's 235. He's about 180.
Man,
the face, you can forgive it all.
Come on, man. This costume makes him look like Robin Williams and Bicentennial Man.
You're not wrong.
That is literally what this looks like.
You nailed it. That's it. You nailed it right there. That's the problem.
And we all agreed on this over at Marvel, huh? You guys are should be ashamed. Should be ashamed. This is bad.
It is. Very bad. Also, I got another question for you guys. In your head, like think about the Fantastic Four all standing together.
Mm-hmm.
In your head, is the Thing a foot shorter than Reed Richards?
Well, this is a bad photograph that I've got here, so I'm not going to use that one. But no,
not typically.
When they're standing next to each other, and not in a movie poster, the Thing is a foot shorter than Reed Richards is.
Yeah, but Reed Richards has stretchy shins, so maybe he's makes himself taller.
So what you're saying then is that there's a possibility that every single time we see them lined up together, just so I'm getting this clear, every time we see them lined up together, Reed's shins are elongated on purpose so that he appears to be a foot taller than Ben Grimm.
I've got a complex,
does this
man.
To bother Ben. Yeah, he's got.
It's literally just that. It's just to bother Ben.
Yes,
I see. Okay.
Now I could see Johnny making that move, to be frank, but
Johnny, that's another thing, right? Is that, look, man, I love Michael B. Jordan. Who don't?
Yeah.
If you're a God-fearing human, you love Michael B. Jordan. And I think he's pretty good in this role, but he's completely written incorrectly.
They don't know who Johnny is when they wrote the script.
Right. It's almost like somebody was telling the writers who Johnny Storm is, and they left out several things.
All they said was he was a real badass, and you're like, okay, what else?
Okay.
You don't fire.
So he's the white guy from the Fast and the Furious. Okay, I got that so far. Okay.
Paul Walker would have been a nice choice. Was he still alive in 2015? I don't do well with.
He's too old though. He's like you think this cast is old? He'd have been well old in this one.
Jesus, man, he'd be like us, flame on.
He'd only be playing the role when the flame was on. He had Michael B. Jordan.
Just plays the fire version of him. That's great.
So Michael B. Jordan was the the biggest talking point before this movie came out, because everybody said, wait, Johnny and Sue are brother and sister. How's she going to have a brother who's of a different ethnic background?
Just say, how's her brother a brother? It works.
Yeah. Yeah. But not once did those people argue that they should have made Sue black as well. Did you ever pick up on that?
Because Sue is a white lady with blonde hair.
Well, Josh Trank wanted Sue to have a black actress for that role. One of the decisions that he wanted to make that I kind of think would have been interesting.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, this is a quote from him. He did an interview on a podcast. He said, I was mostly interested in a black Susan Storm and a black Johnny Storm and a black Franklin Storm. When you're dealing with the studio on a massive movie like that, everybody wants to keep an open mind to who the big stars are going to be. I found out a lot of pretty heavy pushback on casting a black woman in that role. He didn't want Kate Mara. She was kind of forced on his throat, down his throat. And he apparently made her miserable during the whole filming of this, which is not cool in my opinion. I think
that's not the cool Josh Trank I know.
I like Kate Mara. Do you guys have feelings either way about Kate Mara?
Why? Well, first of all, why do you like her?
I find her to be likable. I don't know. I don't think she's necessarily a great actress.
But I mean, did you see her in something that made you go, "Oh, she's good"?
Probably We Are Marshall.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Rooney fan myself, but that's
something
me.
related back to West Virginia with Bruce.
Who figures?
Weird, Portress, I'm sorry I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm more of a Rooney fan myself, but Kate's fine. No problems with her.
I look, my bias towards children of privilege and billionaires and things of this, I have to separate that when it comes to, are you a good actress? And Kate Mara is a descendant of the family that owns the New York Football Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Her family owns both teams.
So she's had a rough one.
I mean, God, can you imagine what her worst day is like? It's just got to be awful.
One day I woke up and one day I woke up and it wasn't Trading Places.
Frowny face. But I have to separate that when it comes to our beloved superhero movies. Is she good in it? And I think she's fine. But the thing that is so distracting in this movie is that, and Portress, your Wigdar is way better than mine. But when the reshoots are happening because Kate Mara is wearing the world's worst wig.
That wig gets real bad in them reshoot shots.
And so you're like instantly, if something is a reshoot or something that Josh Trank shot because of that damn wig. It's okay, so this is later. Oh, this is original. Like there were a couple of moments in the movie where I was like, oh, this is a Josh Trank moment, huh? And especially when you get into the third act, and there are some scenes that were shot by Josh Trank that are in that third act, and I was like, oh, Kate's not wearing a wig right now. I guess this is a Josh Trank one. It's so easy to differentiate.
Do either of you know who Kate Mara is currently married to?
Benjamin Bratt. That's not right, but I think I'd like to see him, do well.
I hope it's someone handsome.
Jamie Bell. They've been married since 2017, 2 years after this movie.
Oh, that's
so that
great.
might have been the best thing that came out of this was a marriage. I don't know if they knew each other prior to this
that's
or not.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm just doing the math. 2015, 2017. There's a chance.
Yeah.
Either that or it was Jamie Bell who forced Kate Mara to be cast, and that's why Josh Trank was bitter. I don't know.
Yeah, tough guy Jamie Bell really roughed up Josh Trank and being like, hey, that's my lady.
I've seen the first act of Billy Elliot. He's
120-pound Billy
now
Elliot
I
over
shall
here.
Dance. So another thing I want to talk about is they figure out how to get to Planet Zero, right, and come back successfully, or the negative zone, Portress.
Thank you.
For your sake, I will call it the negative zone from this point forward. So they figure that out, right, and then the government's going to take everything away, right? And these guys are like and Doom and Reed, they get drunk and they decide that they're going to pull a real prankaroo, and they're going to go into what is probably this country's biggest scientific breakthrough since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And they have one security guard who's working the post as all of this is happening. And it is yet again one of those moments where it's like, oh, you stupid goddamn movie. I want to like you, but you won't let me like you.
It's one of those moments where I cannot relate to the protagonists when they're like, the government doesn't want us 4 teenagers to go here first. They want to send trained scientists and professionals. I'm like, well, yes, they do. I felt like the old grandpa, man. Like I watched this episode of a sitcom where a guy took his grandpa to see ET, and then afterwards the grandpa was like, the government was right. You don't know what kind of diseases that thing could have had. They needed to test him. And the kid's losing his mind because his grandpa comes out with the perspective that ET was the bad guy.
Hey, listen, grandpa's not wrong. You don't know what that ET got.
Exactly.
Going around taking your candy, making your kids fly. He could have fallen off of that bicycle. Who would have been paying the bills?
And another thing I want to talk about that is absolutely like, you should be ashamed of yourselves for this. It is 50 goddamn minutes before the Fantastic Four get their power in this movie.
I got to be honest with you. I kind of like that slow burn, and I think ultimately because we spend as much time as we do in there, the rest of the movie doesn't suffer. Because
says the boy raised on Bendis.
It's true.
Brian Michael Bendis, who takes 3 trades for Peter Parker to get his power, and you're like, oh, this is very good.
Yeah,
I wonder how he's going to pay for that skateboard. Says
I'm not being contrarian when I say this, but honestly, those 50 minutes are the best part of the movie.
Oh, without a doubt,
the movie
because
gets
so
worse
good. They're the most Josh Trank stuff for sure. But listen, we all know what happened to the Fantastic Four. We all know how, like, if you're going to go see a Fantastic Four movie, how many people do you think were like, I keep hearing about this Fantastic Four, but I know nothing about them. I shall buy a ticket. No one. Literally no one did that. We all know how the Fantastic Four got their power. Yes, I understand. It's if I may, it's what makes the James Gunn Superman so great.
Yeah.
Everybody knows why Superman is Superman. Everybody knows, especially people who are buying a ticket to go see it. So why are we waiting 50?
Who is this Superman you speak
minutes?
Of? Because you got nothing else. Because you know Doom sucks ass.
Well, yes, why. There is that.
Doom is terrible. You've seen what this looks like, and you're just like, listen, we got like our homework is due. Okay, we gotta turn it in.
They could have given us a cold opening of Ben Grimm smashing some tanks, and then said 8 years before, and then take us to the elementary school.
I like the tank stuff. I thought that was kind of cool, using Ben Grimm as a weapon and stuff like. Oh, yeah. And we didn't talk about what's his nut there? Tim Blake Nelson as our kind of government dude and whatnot.
This is,
it's so weird, man. I've put Tim Blake Nelson into that bucket of actors who, even if the movie is awful, I'm just going to take it for granted that he's going to be great in it. It's unfair to Tim Blake Nelson because he's great, and he's great in everything he does, even when it's straight garbage. And I got to tell you, I passed out at the point where the leader shows up in that last Captain America movie. So I don't know what he's like in that, but I've got to think
he's wearing a hoodie a lot of the time, isn't he?
I'm
pretty sure he's wearing like a hoodie half of the time. He looks like shit. That character design was absolutely awful. They fell asleep on that one,
man. But again, he's just one of those actors where you're like, at least Tim Blake Nelson's in this thing. Let's see him chew up some scenery. And he does great.
I feel like he gives the rare underspoken performance from Tim Blake Nelson. I wouldn't have minded having a little bit more. But speaking of the whole leader thing, I think my sources tell me he was being set up to be Mole Man in one of the sequels because of the character's name in the script is the same as the civilian name of Mole Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So once again, being set up for a sequel that never happened.
That poor guy can't catch a break with these comic book movies, can he?
Well, I mean, they did pay him back with the Captain America thing because I mean he was the leader in the old Hulk movie a million years ago. Like they did pay that off.
It's you know, with that
Something
though,
tells me this one won't be paid off.
I like the idea that there's one guy still crossing his fingers, going, "Look, it ain't too late."
Another issue I have with this movie, and he does say it, like, you know, I know that Jamie Bell does say this in the movie. Is there a more forced through gritted teeth way to say it's clobbering time? Like it's the most like I really don't want to say this line. Like that's the read I'm getting from Jamie Bell at that moment in this film. And it's like man, look, we all get it. Like we know it's really hard to make that work in modern day, but you got to try your best. And you did not.
His brother said it's clobbering time. What's the? No, it makes sense. Come on.
Do you think the brothers said it because there was a point where they were afraid Jamie wouldn't?
Oh
no, they're laying track.
Okay.
That's
They're
absolutely
like,
laying
get a
track.
clobbering time. And what if that was the last reshoot? Was getting the brother to say clobbering?
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that Reed on purpose grows his shins while they're
This man believes an awful lot of things, don't he?
So you know, a couple of things like yada yada yada, negative zone, right? I'm sorry, am I fast forwarding us and you guys have
listen, all they did was walk around in kind of bad green screen and stuff like that. It's like the design is like almost there, but like we're not quite doing enough. It's not as bad as the forest scene later on, but you know, it's still like there are a couple of times when we're seeing these guys talk and the lighting on them is just really bad for where they are right now. It's like this doesn't match. This is pretty crummy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty forgiving of that kind of stuff.
And, you know, it's again, you know, I'm on the cliff's edge. Please save me, Reed. Please save me. Yeah. And his freaking glove falls off. I mean, come on, man.
I do like how he goes into the abyss and then I'm like, now, granted, you would have that kind of, listen, he's gone. He gone. We got to go. We are in literally a planet that we have no idea where we are. We don't know what we're doing. We've already been here for far too long. He's dead. We can't go back. And they barely bring it up. It's like he's just gone for a year. And then they're like, I guess he'd be gone. We don't there's no memorial to like Victor in the falls or anything like that. It's just called our fallen hero. And one of these days we'll get it back together. It's just like, nah, fuck, that guy's dead. So much so that when they see him in the distance, they're just like, well, what is that?
Well, that's because
I forgot all about that guy.
That's because when they get back from the negative zone, people started asking around like, hey, Reed, where's Victor? He's like, Victor? I don't know a Victor.
Who's Victor?
He just pretend. He starts gaslighting everybody at the facility.
Well, I saw Victor just last week. He's loving his new house in Sri Lanka. He doesn't have a phone. Don't try to call him.
He lives in Niagara Falls now.
He's got to put together a Mrs. Doubtfire kind of scheme and everything where he's just playing both parts going back and forth.
And then we get, if you like look, everything that's happened up to this point, right? Now Victor is gone. Victor is presumed dead. Everything up to this point, like there's things that are showing you it's a bad movie, but it's not something where like just absolute hatred and bile flows from you. And then at the literal halfway point in this movie, they have the fucking gall to have Black Card 1 year later. At the halfway point in the movie.
I'm all for it.
What are we even doing? Have you ever read a script? Have you ever watched a movie? Why is it at the exact halfway point that we are now 1 year later? It is insane.
It's the big set piece to keep you around for the second part of the movie.
I will say this at least. At least they went through and gave us kind of like more or less a montage of all of them. Like, hey, here's how everybody knows their powers and stuff now. We at least get a Cliff Notes version of that, and we don't have to sit through, even Rocky needs a montage yet again for something like this. So at least we got through it quick enough that way, and they can kind of go, hey, we understand the powers now. Not everybody's sitting around scratching their head going like, well, what is this sort of thing? So as much as we bitch about, how long it took to get there in the first place, at least they don't give us yet another 20 minutes with that bullcrap.
I was wondering when the star of our show would show up. Finally, there he is. He makes an appearance.
I think they should have just
handsome.
I got
cross-faded to a local newspaper with the headline, 1 year anniversary of horrible tragedy approaches.
Right, but
they're not even throwing a party.
Is better than what this movie did.
Yeah, not too bad.
Because there's no forethought as to how people would react that a college-aged kid got lost in the negative zone and shall never be coming back. The first death to ever happen in an alternate reality.
You'd think there'd be something going on.
And they're just like, listen, we're very, very busy here.
Did either of you guys ever work on group projects that you started out caring a lot about, but you got so sick of the group that by the end you're like, just do whatever you want. I don't care anymore. I'll take the F. And
Bruce, are you talking about this podcast and you're rolling it right now?
I'm talking about this movie. It feels like when that 1 year later gets plugged in, that's about the time when the one person who still cared quit caring. Like it has a lot of burnout feel to it, the way it starts.
Yeah.
And I know it's not filmed sequentially, but sometimes it's edited that way. But it really starts out like something somebody really cares about, and it ends up like, man, it is Friday and it's 4:25 and I am not going to be late.
Yeah.
That's how it wraps up.
Yeah, they quickly just go like, we're speeding to the last to the finish line on this one, kids. We just want to see this. We want to see them credits roll is what we're looking for ultimately at the end of the day. We're just like, can we please get out of this this horrible mess that we've put ourselves into?
You want to hear a little bit of the back matter that I managed to round up?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I'll start off by saying that I went to Google and I asked Google what's wrong with Josh Trank. And there's like a little Google AI that gives you a summary now on what's wrong with Josh Trank. And if you don't mind, I'd like to share with you what Google told me is wrong with Josh Trank.
So, I mean, it's
super reliable.
Yeah, so it's completely reliable.
It says widely considered difficult to work with, primarily due to issues during the production of Fantastic Four 2015, including reports of isolation, disinterest, uncommunicativeness, and a near physical altercation with Miles Teller, leading to concerns about his ability to handle large-scale studio projects. Various sources discuss alleged erratic behavior and other issues during the production of Fantastic Four, which some reports link to accusations of substance abuse. There were also reports of his departure from a Star Wars project around the time. It's important to note that these were allegations and reports from the time, and the specific claims remain unverified.
Hey, Sean, are you surprised that Miles Teller would be likely to throw hands? Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me. It's one of those things where, like, when you're watching a football game and you want both teams to lose.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what Miles Teller and Josh Trank fighting each other feels like to me. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Miles Teller is a very talented actor. But Miles Teller also feels like the type of person who it's not enough that you know that he's a good actor. He needs to tell you also that he is a very good actor. And that if things aren't going exactly the way that he wants to, then there's going to be hands thrown. But I don't know why I think that, because I've never heard those stories except for this one from the Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, but like it wouldn't surprise you to hear that. It's
in no way at all. It wouldn't surprise me in any way. It also wouldn't surprise me to hear that, oh, hey, he's left the business forever, and then almost like a Daniel Day-Lewis kind of a thing. Like, I'm so fed up with Hollywood that I'm going to learn how to cobble shoes.
Yeah.
And then he comes back in 3 years because he gets, some offer for a phenomenal role somewhere.
Or he's mastered the shoe,
He can't handle all the criticism in the shoe game.
It used to be,
it's so political now.
Have you guys ever seen a fight between two adult men and you're like, oh, geez, this is just embarrassing. Like, I kind of wish one of these two guys knew how to fight. So this would be
I love old people fighting videos. Old people fighting are absolutely hilarious to me. Them just trying to go at it, and none of them have coordination or anything like that. And them just trying to beat the piss out of each other is so funny.
That's
I
how
have
picture
two
a Josh
comedians.
Trank.
I know two comedians who got into a bar brawl, like with each other, about I want to say 10 or 12 years ago. I was not there for the fight. However, afterwards, hearing other comedians talk about this, because they were like just super low end, like, you know, like barely scraping by in society kind of comedians. A comedian who I knew and was friends with said to me, it was like watching Jimmy and Timmy fight.
Just bad, man. Bad. I think
So I got a Fantastic Four question here. And it feels a little mall ratsy, but I'm still going to ask the question anyway.
Alrighty.
So when Reed is like sliding around in the ventilation system naked, he at certain points he's scraping Big Jim and the twins against the air grates. Do you think that hurts Mr. Fantastic, or do you think it's just all rubbery?
I'm going to let you in on a little secret here that I know. He can make it an innie because of his elastic nature.
Ah.
But
So
in that state, would he have been? Now, hold on. In that state, would he have been able to do that? At this point, he doesn't really know how to control his powers just yet. He's waking up from this. He's been, they've been dosing him with drugs, all this. Which, by the way, I thought all the stretchy stuff looked a lot better than I remembered.
Yeah, it does look pretty good.
It's not too shabby. I was like, and he's the toughest character to kind of define their power and everything. Oh, and real fast, again, Sue with the invisible ball and stuff like that. All that stuff looked good.
Yeah.
I don't remember having many
there's
complaints
nothing
about
wrong with the Fantastic Four's special effects. It's everything else.
Everything around it. Yeah. I mean, like when we get to the I'll show this here once I can kind of get it on screen. This scene right here is pretty bad. And you can tell that there are many shots within this scene that are just bad green screen.
Can you keep that up, please?
Yeah.
Is that, am I seeing this wrong? I might need to get my glasses. Is that the thing's balls?
I was just going to ask if you could enlarge and enhance, zoom in and enhance for us.
I wish I could. I mean, the
scrotum.
I can do is give it a regular full screen like this so you can look at it.
I almost see scrotum and a little.
There's a little something going on there. Why is he not wearing pants?
You give him pants and I'm not staring at that. But now I'm staring at that. That's what I said that early on in the show. That's my problem with the thing is like every time you get a full body shot, I'm looking for scrotum and I don't like to be that person.
There's some rock dong going on. What's happening? It doesn't make sense.
Don't even get me started on Dr. Manhattan.
Well, at least look.
Rock dong.
At least.
Yeah.
Rock dong. It sounds so dumb, but weren't we all super happy to see, Mr. Manhattan's penis in that movie? It was just like, thank God they showed it. Because there was a very good chance that they wouldn't. And it's part of what makes the character the character.
Yes.
Unreal.
Agreed.
It's like having the thing be, whatever this version was. I don't know.
How many people are going to run screaming from the movie theater if he's got a rocky crank? Like nobody's going to like flip out over that.
I might have. I don't need a rocky
really
crank.
You would have you're okay. So your argument is that you don't know what it looks like. So there's a real possibility, better than 50-50, that if Bruce Leslie would have seen a CGI Rocky Crank on Ben Grimm in this film, you would have run screaming from that little theater in West Virginia where you saw this movie.
It would have looked like one of those things that used car lots have with the wind.
The Kermit run out of there. What are you talking about?
You just look like D dancing then.
In addition to Kate Mara, Saoirse Ronan, Margot Robbie, and Emmy Rossum allegedly were screen tested for Susan.
Those are some
is
good choices.
Is this all AI stuff or
no? This is Wikipedia here.
Okay.
So I was just I I think I would have liked any of the three that didn't get this a little bit better than her, even though I don't have any problems with her.
Yeah, but ultimately, like, I don't think we can blame any of this on Kate Mara, like her role or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I can't point a finger at her and be like, "This is your fault." No, her character wasn't written well.
It's none of the actors' fault, man. Like,
there's a great cast. In
the
2000,
cast, they're just all miscast except for Miles Teller. Like, everyone in this movie is miscast except for Miles Teller.
Yeah, Miles Teller is appropriate.
In 2015, with the guy from The Bear, he played Lip on Shameless, the U.S. version. Would he have been age appropriate to be Ben Grimm in this movie? Is he about Jamie Bell's age?
I have no idea.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, anyway, I think him and Emmy Rossum, it would have been an interesting stunt to have them as brother and sister again, because they kind of look like brother and sister. Of course,
I stand by what I said last week. You make Vanna White the Invisible Lady,
yeah,
and you make Pat Sajak, Reed Richards. Who says no?
There was
Not my parents, I'll tell you that.
Now I'm interested.
At one point, before they decided to skew younger, they were considering Adrian Brody, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers for Mr. Fantastic. And talk about old, man. Kiefer Sutherland is being.
Oh, God.
Man. Kiefer Sutherland was like 50 in 2015.
Yeah,
what are we talking about?
And not a clean 50 either. That guy looks every year a 50.
Oh, yeah.
God. How would you like
run through the ringer there?
Domhnall Gleeson as Dr. Doom.
No, he's totally wrong. There's no menace to that guy.
We saw
him screaming at the top of his lungs in the Star Wars movies, and he looked and it's kind of funny.
We all kind of chuckled. Exactly. It's just like, and the new one is gonna do all of this stuff. We're like, you silly goose, get out of here. No one's scared of you. Ben Mendelsohn's scared of you, and he's got a speech impediment.
I still think the worst choice would have been if they went with Eddie Redmayne. He was another one they considered for Dr. Doom. Because he is the sweet little kid you feel bad for.
At least Kibble's tall. At least he's tall enough to like that. Like and he does pair well with Miles Teller. So like I do like them back and forth and everything. It's just that by the time that he turns to Dr. Doom proper, it's no good.
And Brian Singer confirmed that there was pre-production talks. Once the movie came out, they got real quiet about it. But he said that there was talks of this being in the same universe as the X-Men films, and then they would build to a crossover.
I know they were pushing
kind of
for that
style.
for a bit.
I could see that. I could see him wanting to do it at least.
They were pushing for that, I remember, because didn't they put a trailer for an X-Men movie? It was at the end of this. I can't remember, but maybe it's Venom.
I don't know, but I remember seeing something like that.
Yeah,
I thought it was a Sony movie though. But why would they put X-Men at the end of a Sony movie? That doesn't make sense. No, I don't know what it was.
I don't remember either, but it was one of those things where it's like, we're not Marvel. Let's band together and make a thing.
Yeah.
And we see how well that worked out.
Yeah.
I heard somebody suggest that this movie was a really dark take on the 80s classic Real Genius. What do you feel about that? Like, this is the dark Real Genius.
I don't know. I think Real Genius is pretty dark at times.
Yeah. But I do see the similarities, all the smart kids and a threat to the world and all that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get this one in, boys. Just whoever you want to pick in this bad boy, but who do you recast in this movie if you got to recast some folks? I feel like we got some thoughts on it for sure. I know with me, I'm going to go Ben Grimm, and I still believe this to this time. I think he would have worked out fairly close age-wise. Maybe he might be a little bit old, but everybody in this is a little bit old, to be honest. But I would always like to see Jason Segel as a thing.
Oh, you have said that before. I remember you saying that.
Tall, big
not a bad
guy,
choice.
Big guy, Jewish guy. I think he could be funny and menacing if he needs to be. So I still think he's always a pretty good choice.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know. I would probably say you could do a whole lot better with Reed. So who would I recast in 2015 to be Reed? I'm not sure if I have a great answer.
I think Trank's about as good as you're going to get for Reed at this particular time and stuff like that. I think he embodies enough of what makes Reed Reed.
Teller.
Miles Teller. You said Trank, but I knew what you meant.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
I think you cast Johnny Knoxville as Reed Richards and Paris Hilton as the Invisible Girl.
Hey, listen, when you can't come up with a better one, you go with the bad ones. That's right.
That's right. And for the for the I can't even get through it. Keep going. No one should laugh at their own jokes unless you're Shane Gillis.
Or unless it's you got to have a real humdinger on your hands over there. Well, let's do this then. Well, actually, we got this. Let me put this one in.
Fortress Bucks.
We got a super chat in the chair.
Nice,
fellas. So let's go ahead and read that. That comes from King Solomon's Frog for a $10 whole. He says, "Sorry, I'm late to the party, but Sunday nights are tough for me. I wanted to keep my word though. So here's the super chat to hear that sexy drop."
Fortress Bucks.
There it is. Oh yeah. So thank you, King Solomon's Frog, for that.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
We'll look over a couple of the other little chats and stuff once we kind of finish the regular show here and everything. But it's come down to this, fellas. Bruce, what is your star grade and rating for Josh Trank's Fantastic Four?
I'm really surprised to be saying this because this was my most hated movie for 10 years, probably. But it's got half of a good movie in it. It's not a Fantastic Four movie, but it has some moments that aren't terrible. It spent a lot of energy setting up sequels that are never going to come to be. I probably should have focused on making a rewatchable movie instead, but I'm going to just blame the now defunct Fox Studios for that. In 2015, there was no part of me that had a single iota in interest to a sequel to this movie. But 10 years later, like it was already made and I didn't have to watch it, and now I could go watch it. Yeah. I'm genuinely kind of curious on what a sequel would have looked like because Josh Trank wouldn't have directed the sequel. So it would have gone a little bit different direction. And I would have been curious to see what they gave us. I think my biggest pathway to possible appreciation of this film is framing it like this. This movie is to the Fantastic Four what Brightburn is to Superman. If I think that way, I can enjoy it a little bit. I think this movie's about the same level as Brightburn, and in what I consider my most shocking movie rating of all time, I'm going to give this train wreck 3 stars. I didn't hate it. 3 for 3 this month on the Alba curve for old Bruce here.
Yeah, not bad. Sean?
I appreciate the Alba curve. That's nice. And those Alba curves. Am I right?
Yeah.
Wow. That lady's put together well. I think that by the way, every time because I've been doing this a lot, it's a big cigar. Like it doesn't work when you don't have the prop, Sean. Wowza.
Give yourself a little one of these.
Oh, I should do that. You're right.
This is more of a cigar right
way
here.
Better when I do it like this.
This is like the big long cigarette holder thing that the penguin Burgess Bear did there.
So for me, this is a 2-star all day. You know what? No, I can't. It's a 1.5 star all day. There are so many things about this movie that make you long for a good Fantastic Four movie, and hopefully, good God Almighty, hopefully next week will be that week that we finally get a good Fantastic Four movie.
Your mouth to God's ears, I'll tell you that much. For me, when I looked back, I went to my letterbox here. And to just kind of log that I watched this again because I was curious. I was like, what did I rate this last time I did? And it was 1.5 stars. And honestly, I think this went up a whole star for me this time. This is about 2.5. I was shocked. I was shocked at how much I didn't hate this movie. If you can look past a lot of the things that they just had to do at the time or whatever, and the circumstances that were in there, this is 3/4 of an okay movie.
The problem with this movie is that I mean now we're getting hopefully a really good Fantastic Four movie, hopefully. But the problem with watching this movie is that you're like, oh, you stupid idiots, you came so close to having a good one, and it makes it worse that it's not,
and that it fell apart just due to somebody being a dunderhead,
Yep.
That's
a real dunderhead. Adam Portress.
Well, that is it, everybody. We got one more Fantastic Four movie here left for us to go. We are heading out to the theater, I think, for maybe, what is this, the 8th Pedro Pascal film this month or this year?
No kidding, man.
Oh, my word.
Him and Samuel L. Jackson, they're like in the running for who can be in the most things.
I am really starting to wonder who Pedro's got dirt on. Because he's in everything. He's in everything. It's like, oh, it'd be an awful shame if some news got out about you.
Maybe
Feel like I might want to star in that film. What do you say? He's just like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll get you that job right now. We'll get you that job real good.
Look here, Jack Warner. You put me in that picture, or the picture gets out to the newspapers.
Telling you, I don't think it's too far off. So we'll be covering the new Fantastic Four out here next week. So fingers crossed on that one. In the meantime, Bruce, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I got a new TikTok up. Go check out my TikTok, Bruce Leslie AD, all one word. So go check it out. I'm talking about a movie that's coming out soon.
I watched the first couple of seconds of that thing, and I didn't want to watch the rest because like I wasn't aware that movie was out yet. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna eventually watch it, and then I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna look at your
It's not a review. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
It's
Okay, maybe I might go watch it. Because if you're just guessing and stuff like that, I thought that movie was already out. I'm like, well, damn, if that's out, I'm going to go watch that.
It might be. I don't know.
Well, who knows? It will be soon. It's on Netflix. Everything's on Netflix these days. Shawnee?
I am the busiest boy on earth currently, but when I'm not, I will be uploading more e-scooter videos. So go to e-scooter tour videos if you want to see really cool places I've been, like Vancouver and Atlanta. Very
different places, those two.
Yeah.
Links for that are going to be in the show notes and stuff. So if you want to check that out,
Bob.
hit that little note.
Portress, right just when I think that I've given up on you completely, you pull me back in with just a lovely gift like that. Thank you.
Every now and then I can show I'm a human. I have to, otherwise we'll start, suspecting. Check out our YouTube page here, everybody. Again, we're growing like crazy over here and everything. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers, or 20,000. Excuse me. What the hell am I talking about? So 20,000 subscribers. We're very close to that. And so if you see any new videos, like, subscribe, all those great things, hit the bell notification so you know when we're live and doing shows like this. It's been a pretty good, awesome chat room. We're going to talk about some of those chats here after the main show, so hang out there for a couple of minutes. But yeah, we really appreciate all of you guys and just kind of keeping this channel jumping and stuff like that. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And join us back here next week when we're talking the new Fantastic Four for Sweet Sean's and Kovacs from the internet. Bruce Leslie, I'm Adam Porcher, reminding you to get out there and watch some movies, you dirty babies.
I am needing break.
All right, we're back on the regular schedule here. Let's read a couple of chats. Pull up the paper here. All right, they've dipped. They'll be back. We got a Dinger Zone coming up very soon, so check us out for. We'll be doing that real quick. It's going to be the top 5 Michael B. Jordan films. So if you are a big giant Michael B. Jordan film, drop your top 5 in the comments there, and we'll talk about that. Because we got them. I'm going to go over some of the chat here. Trillion, he was sorry you were late, but Godzilla, you got to see Godzilla -1 in black and white. Damn, that's pretty cool, man. Not too shabby. Throw a like if you're a Bronson fan. Please do that. Let me put on a little bit of the old lo-fi music we can throw here in the background. Give us a little ambiance as the boys take care of the old. Being rock hard all the time must suck. If the pill that you're taking allows you to be Ben Grimm for more than 3 hours, call your doctor. I wonder if Mr. Fantastic can stretch everything. I thought that's where Sean was going too. I'm not going to lie. It's just like, oh, he's going to the old Stretchy McStretcherson over here, but he didn't. So at that point, I guess I got to say I'm proud of him. The Alba curve is here to stay. Yes, indeed. Kate Mara or Jessica Alba, who would you rather spend a weekend in Hawaii with? I think I know my answer. Leave that for the fellas and see if they can know what they think. Groucho Marx, the person everyone thinks of for a cigar hand motion. Because like he made it so iconic at that point and everything. He's walking in, he's got the walk, he's got the talk, he's got the look, he's got your shoe polished on mustache and everything. Mwah, it's gorgeous. Maybe George Burns. George Burns wasn't doing like one of these numbers nearly as much. The little ma pa pa pa. It's Vancouver, British Columbia is where he's scooting around in that video. Happy days, everybody. Thank you guys again for hanging out and everything. Do you guys want to do the Dinger Zone live here? Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe we'll do the Dinger Zone live, and then we'll just cut it out of that and send it over to the Patreon people. So the Patreon people will get that, and then you guys will hear it live and everything. Since we don't have the biggest of live viewers, we'll do it all in front of you, and it gives me an excuse to get more of this recording and everything, and use that for later bull crabs. That's what I do. There, big boy. All right. Boy, that didn't loop. What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here, damn it? Listen, that's going to be a recurring theme, I would imagine. I think we'll have a lot of crossover films in our Michael B. Jordan discussion. Here's one back. Get to bed, big boy.
All right. All right, my brother.
That's not. We didn't have a single Reggie Cather impression during the whole damn show. That ain't no
because
good,
I would just do what he said to me.
All right.
Thank you, my brother. Excuse me. Do you know where the production office is? Yeah, you just go on the elevator. It's on the 3rd floor. Thank you, my brother. He even said that cool, man. The guy it's impossible.
Like, how could you not
be cool?
Just make your entire year right there? Just like this old smooth ass old black man just goes, "Thank you, my brother." I mean, I'd be let to be a high I'd never get off of. I went through some of the chat here while we was kind of in the break. You all right there, bud? Lay down. Jeez Louise. All right. I'm not going to do the Dinger Zone thing because we're on the internet, and the internet will demonetize me if I play that. So we won't be doing that. Yeah, we'll roll like this then. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Good. Trilly made a good point, though. We'll see just how many Creed movies everyone has. Apt. Put the chat on the side here, just in case
you may be surprised at my no one's going to be surprised at my
No, I don't think most people will.
People may be surprised at a couple of movies I haven't seen.
That's fair enough. All right, here we go. Let me make sure there's a different recording just so my life is easier. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dinger Zone. My name is Adam. There's Sean.
Cowabunga, y'all.
And there's Bruce.
You know it.
Well, this week on HMP proper, we discussed our the Fantastic Four movie from 2015, and that movie stars one magnanimous young man named Michael B. Jordan. And we decided this week that we'll be talking our top 5 Michael B. Jordan films to kind of put them all together here for us. A little thematic listage, if you will. I think we like doing that. Just, picking something out and going there with it. And let's be honest, Michael B. Jordan films, not a bad problem to have on your hands.
No, definitely not.
Which one
it's
of these?
Kind of an embarrassment of riches, quite honestly.
Yeah. So let's start it up. Bruce, what's your number 5?
Number 5 for me is going to be the only animated film I suspect on this list, but we'll just have to wait and see. For me, it's Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, in which Michael B. Jordan was the voice of Cyborg.
Really?
And we really had a perfect Cyborg right there. And when they cast the guy they cast in the Snyder Justice League, it was not as good a choice as Michael B. Jordan.
I got to be honest. That's a really good man. If Michael B. Jordan was that movie would have been way different, dude. That would have had like a whole different vibe.
So weird that you get to cast him as the voice actor, but you don't get him in the live action. It's usually the other way around.
I mean, it could have been a thing too, where it's just like, hey, do you mind doing this? And like he's like, like in his bathroom, his personal bathroom, just doing the voiceover.
Yeah, there's also like the timing. I think Justice League's Flashpoint Paradox is made before Michael B. Jordan was the household name he'd become later on.
Mm-hmm.
I just like every now and then you'll find something with a little baby Michael B. Jordan in it, and it's so cute to just see this little tiny kid that looks exactly the same, but he just looks like they shrunk him. It's so funny. It's just like, look at him, look at how little he is, a little kid, and then he just grows up like, hey, and it's like, oh yeah, that dude's gonna get all the ladies.
Do you guys have any honorable mentions?
There's a movie called Love and Mercy that I saw from him that has him and what's her nut, Captain Marvel lady. Won an Oscar, and I'm drawing a blank. Young gal.
My honorable mention for him is him in the later seasons of Friday Night Lights. It's the first time I noticed him, because there was no way I was going to watch that show. Like after Coach Taylor leaves the team that he originally was with, and then he goes to this other team and he's back in high school again. I was like, there's no way I'm watching this show. And somebody told me, yeah, you should check it out. There's a kid on there who plays the quarterback who's great. And or maybe the running back. I can't remember. I started watching it, and he's just so good at it.
That guy ain't bad. You're number 5.
My number 5 is a little movie called Space Jam 2. No, I'm kidding. It's the
thespian of all thespians, I tell you.
It's the second thing I ever saw Michael B. Jordan in. I watched it after I had seen him. Look, I get it's weird, but it's the second thing I ever saw him in was Fruitvale Station. That movie is great. He's great in it. Everybody who's in that film is great. It's also the first time that I can remember thinking, Peter Dinklage is a really great actor. And so, like, this is that movie for me. It's a really cool thing if you've never seen it. Yes, it is an independent, like, sort of arty movie, but it's not your typical artsy movie.
Yeah,
Like
and there'll be a couple people that you've seen before and stuff like that. There's names and faces that while they may not like register for you right off the bat, you will go like, oh, I know this guy, or I've seen this guy in something or something like that. There's a lot of those little guys in there. And that's my number 5 as well. So we'll
Nice.
kind of just jump on here for you as well.
nice.
I'm embarrassed to say I haven't seen Fruitvale Station, but I do know that that's probably the genesis of that actorial relationship.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And so, yeah, that like he's kind of been his lucky charm and stuff since then. And like you really, when you find out how young Kugler was when he made Fruitvale Station,
Oh
you're just
man,
like,
it's embarrassing. Like it sucks so
you
bad. that
look
he's
back
so
and you're
young
just
he
like,
makes
I've
that
done
great
nothing with
movie.
my horrible life.
God, it's so
Child has
pretty.
gone through and just done this amazing thing and just makes it look so easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty, and it's like for what that movie is, it's exactly what that movie needs to be. It's just it's a perfect like first super auteur director film. Like it really is.
You're on pins and needles and like it gets you like tense and everything and like it puts you in that moment. It makes it it makes the situation try to feel as real as it can. It's good.
Yeah.
Bruce, number 4.
Number 4 for me, I'm sure it's going to be in both your lists. Maybe it'll be a 4, maybe it'll be higher, but probably the movie that opened some doors for Josh Trank before Fantastic Four immediately slammed them shut. That would be Chronicle.
Yep. That's my number 4 as well. Remember we reviewed this movie. Do you guys remember that we reviewed it?
I do.
And I remember thinking at the time before I had seen it that I thought I knew what the movie was. And when you learn it's not that movie, and when that flip happens pretty early on, because Michael Jordan doesn't get through the entire movie. And when that all happens, it's really, really surprising. And I'm kind of afraid to go back and see it because maybe at this point now it's the black hole effect is in effect.
I don't know. I think it still will hold up for you because I've seen it a couple of times.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I maybe not. Probably not since we've reviewed it and everything. But like I'd seen it several times. I think I may have seen it in theaters.
Was Max Landis
yeah, he wrote
writer on it? That's what I thought. Yeah, it's because I'm afraid I might go judge it through the Nepo baby goggles.
Listen, I mean, if you can throw, well, I mean, Nepo baby's the least of his problems.
Jeez, yeah.
If Nepo baby's one of his good redeeming factors, there's a lot of other things, maybe not so much.
Do you guys know Trank's father was a producer?
No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he was. He won an Academy Award for something.
There you go. Well, things are all starting to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Number 4 for you, Adam.
Number 4 for me is this small independent film called Black Panther. He is like, to put Michael B. Jordan in the Killmonger villain role and everything, it's the charismatic just actor that we need in villain roles to where it's coming off of them. And there's a handful of guys that can really pull off that charismatic villain and everything. He's one of those guys. Tom, what's his nuts is one of those from the Loki, Hiddleston, right?
Oh,
yeah, Hiddleston.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston.
I'm like, there's so many damn Toms in all these friggin' movies now. I'm just like, what's his name?
Yeah.
Hiddleston is one of those guys that just like, you have to have that charisma of a bad guy and stuff like that. And he does it so well here that like, it's not quite the same, but like, it's kind of Mahershala Ali when they kill him. You're like, damn it, man.
That's exactly the name I was going to throw into the ring there is Mahershala Ali. And he was so good in a show that immediately became so mid once he was gone.
Yeah. What a shame. And this was kind of, I was just like, oh man, this could be the guy who constantly fights Black Panther. Like what an amazing villain, just kind of that dichotomous other side of T'Challa and everything. Like it's so good. It could have been a running thing, but they're like, nah, kill him. Bad. So good, but so bad. You're number 3. Bruce.
Number 3 for me. This one's going to make Vandiver happy because I'm finally breaking out Creed. With Creed, the seventh entry in the Rocky franchise is one of the better ones. Mm-hmm. How often do you get to say that? But I really liked Adonis in Creed. I liked his portrayal. Also thought it's kind of funny that this 32-year-old guy is trying to break into the fight game. You know, it's a little late to be doing that, but you put it aside when the guy's got a physique like
yeah,
Michael
he
Keaton
looks
does.
like you could pull 26 or something like that in that film. He's he's a good looking enough guy. He don't look super old.
Yeah,
Not
it's
like some of these cats.
Just like even in movie math, because we know when Apollo died, because we've all seen Rocky IV.
Yeah.
So we do know that no matter how good he looks, we're doing the movie math that this is a kid trying to break in at 30 years old, which doesn't happen.
Hey, listen, man, Stallone got to do what a Stallone got to do,
But I do love the movie. Stallone, probably one of my favorite acting performances by Stallone in Creed, and you put him next to Michael B. Jordan, and it's really enjoyable. I say rewatch it if you haven't.
Yeah. Sean, number 3.
Number 3 is Black Panther for me. And how mad do you think the folks over at Marvel are that they killed off the character of Killmonger? They've just got to be beside themselves about, like, man, we are the movie company that always thinks forward, and in this case we didn't, and now we're screwed.
I wonder if it was something where he kind of wanted to die so he wouldn't have to necessarily be, tracked into all of this stuff. Maybe there's a portion of that might be in there. It's like, listen, dude, kill me off. I might come back for like a dream sequence or something at some point, but like, I don't want to be the guy. Maybe that's the problem, is he just didn't want to be the dude all the time.
Could be.
I could definitely see that. And it's worked. Honestly, it's worked better for his career that it didn't happen that way.
I agree. I don't know if he's directing Creed 3 if he's in all the Marvel movies.
They would eventually try to let him direct something in Marvel to keep him on and keep him aboard or something like that, if that was the case. Like that's what they would have done, but it wouldn't have been something that he would have necessarily wanted to do himself.
No way.
Mr. Jordan, how do you feel about a project called Agatha All Along?
You could be the showrunner for Agatha All Along. You just hear click, click. And gunshot sound. For me, number 3 is also Chronicle. Chronicle was fantastic. It was just like, I loved how like kind of low budget it was and everything. It just felt raw and gritty as a cool little superhero film. Not only is Michael B. Jordan is great in it, Dane DeHaan is fantastic in that movie.
It's literally Dane DeHaan's best role.
Oh,
so
far
good.
and away.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, he's so good in that you're just like, it's almost like he can't live up to anything else within that, because it's like he set a really high bar for himself in that flick. And just the cinematography and all of that being all the kind of found footage and whatnot. And then when we kind of break from it and everything, it's what gave me a lot of hope for Trank doing the Fantastic Four film, because it was just like, this guy knows some superhero stuff. He can make it look real and interesting and whatnot. So I was hopeful for it. And then, whatever happened.
And then things happened.
Yeah, at the time, Chronicle felt like a really fresh look at superheroes, especially in movies, and no reason to think that he would, put a big old steamer bean in the bed with Fantastic Four. I mean, it felt like it should have been good and interesting and original, but instead it was something else.
Steamer bean.
Arkansas steamer bean is the full word.
If I call it by its Christian name. All right, number 2, Bruce.
Number 2 for me. First time this movie has been mentioned, it's Black Panther. I very much enjoyed Black Panther, but the part I enjoyed about it most, of course, was Killmonger. He played it great. Like, it wasn't one of those portrayals where it's like, oh, he's my favorite character because I like him. No, this was the perfect villain because I really both hated and was intimidated by and scared of Killmonger. When he's burning all the magic fruits or whatever. I mean, that really spoke to me. Like, that is a tyrant move, and it made me so angry, and I wanted to see him get beat up in the end. And then, of course, it pays it off. Biggest mistake since Hank slapped Janet in the Marvel universe is when they let Killmonger die at the end of that movie.
He looks so cool doing it with his hair, that like scaly crap that they got on his shoulders and everything. So cool looking. What
that
great
iconic
design.
Hair, man. I didn't even think about that. Iconic.
Yep.
Looking so badass when he's going in and robbing that place and everything. This is that's how cool you want your villains to be,
Mm-hmm.
Sean, number 2.
My number 2 is Sinners.
As is mine.
I like the movie a lot. I think my whiteness wasn't letting me put it at number 1, but I really do like the movie a lot. And I think that Michael B. Jordan specifically, when you first hear Michael B. Jordan is playing two different roles in this movie, I immediately flash back to like a Jean-Claude Van Damme kind of a thing.
That's where we all go, man. Double impact.
But when you forget that he's two different people in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And it happens quickly where you forget too. Like, oh right, this is the same guy playing the same role.
They do a really great job because, like, not only between their styles and everything, but like how they move and stuff. He made really interesting, smart choices with how he did this. And it's not like you know, all of a sudden one of them has this accent and the other one has like he's a really, you know, fey gay accent or something like that. Like, it's close to the same voice and everything, but you distinctly see two very different people in it who, and again, because the movie's well written, have their own kind of sets of wants and needs and stuff that they're going after, which makes those characters unique and interesting in and of themselves, despite being twins.
Right. And there's also the like the thing where like, well, this guy has long hair, but I have a ponytail, so we're different. Like, there's none of that.
He wears glasses. He doesn't. See?
Right.
But strangely, real life brothers, the Barbarian brothers, not believable as twins.
You see, true. Simon and Simon weren't brothers in real life.
How do they have the exact same performance?
Miracles. All right, let's get it down to numero uno, Bruce.
Well, number one for me is a little movie about the Smokestack twins, Sinners. My number one, maybe some recency bias, but I love every second of that. It looks beautiful, sounds beautiful. I'm not going to spoil it. It's still pretty fresh. It's on HBO. Not going to spoil another part that really pulled me into it. But it also had another part that really pulled me into it. And,
I wish I wouldn't have known the one kind of like most people wouldn't even consider it a spoiler, but I ended up eventually finding it out that just like I was like, man, I almost went into this movie completely blind and it would have pulled like the biggest of fast ones on me, and I had it ruined. I was just like, ah, shucks. I really would have liked to seen the twist having known nothing. But you know, it's modern day. What are you gonna do?
Sometimes things can fade a little bit with time and there's some recency bias, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon when any existing movie he's made is going to pass Sinners for me. But maybe you'll convince me with whatever you guys pick for number one. I hope it's not Justice League, The Flashpoint Paradox.
If they make a sequel to Sinners, the oral sex in that sequel better be twice as long.
Now, I will say this. I hope it stays true. But according to sources, he does not want to make a sequel to this. Now, granted, sometimes it ain't in his choice whether or not a sequel gets made, but it doesn't sound like at least that Ryan Coogler wants to make a Sinners 2. So that's good. I like it just being a one and done kind of thing. We don't need more franchises. I would rather Ryan Coogler do more interesting and unique.
Yeah. Let's see something else, bub.
Yeah, I mean, like, 'cause that's what I want. I like his voice. I like him doing new and interesting things. Please do that.
And he's such a good filmmaker, man. He's just so good as a storyteller.
Who did they bring in to replace Donner on Superman 2? Bring that guy in for
Richard Lester. Richard Lester also probably been dead for a good while, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what?
If you got direct A Hard Day's Night, I don't think that guy is among the living.
Yeah.
If you got a Ouija board, he works cheap.
Richard Lester is directing this movie by seance. He said, "Take two." He says, "Moving on."
They just have a magic 8-ball on set. That's the director.
That's how they did. That's how they finished those trank scenes. You're like, Reed will do what? Stretch. Oh shit! I wouldn't have seen that one coming. Sean numero uno.
Number one. You know, I grew up not just a nerdy kid, but a sports kid. And the Rocky movies are such a big deal for me growing up. One of my favorite villains, right up there with Darth Vader, is Clubber Lang. I think that they are equal in evilness. I love the Rocky movies until we get to Rocky 5, and then everything falls off a cliff.
Well, that's the best one.
Right. Yeah. Tommy Machine Gun. Yeah. When he's fighting him in a back alley.
That's how you end a Rocky movie, in a back alley.
This is how we want to see Rocky. Yeah.
Terrible.
So, and then we get the Rocky Balboa movie, and I even saw that because I don't know what it's like to be bit by a snake more than twice. So I did it again, and I saw that movie, and that movie is also not terrific. Although not as bad as Rocky V.
was the best. Oh wait, that's not true.
So then when I hear that they're making like a side sequel to Rocky called Creed, and I know how Creed died already because I've seen Rocky 4 a million times, and you think to yourself, how? And I thought that Apollo was like happily married to that lady. I think I've even seen his wife in movie, like you think like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Creed, and it's just that movie is so good that it makes you think for a minute, is Sylvester Stallone a good actor? Because he is great in that movie, and it's because of the direction of Ryan Coogler. So for me, I love Adonis Creed. I love the movie Creed. By the time you get to Creed 3, yeah, there is some gilding on that lily, but Creed 1 and 2 is pretty great, but not like the first Creed. That first Creed movie is a miracle how good it is.
Also my number one, Creed. Yeah, Creed, it's fantastic. It is. Now, granted, while Michael B. Jordan, as we mentioned throughout this, had been a star for a good bit pre-Creed and everything, I think Creed is what really kind of cemented his superstar status.
It might be.
I think that's the real thing that made everybody just go like, this guy, he's definitely a lead actor.
Yeah.
At this point, you can open up a movie with this kid now, and he's proving so.
Which makes me ask the question: how does Hollywood punt this and ruin him?
Oh, it's going to happen. You know that.
It's totally going to happen. They're gonna try to force feed him into something that is ridiculous and he shouldn't do, and they're just going to offer him too much money for him to say no to.
You know what? I'm surprised he hasn't done at any point is any kind of like romantic comedy type things or anything in that kind of nature.
Hey, yeah.
You know?
Well, they don't really make romantic comedies anymore unless it's direct to Netflix, right?
Yeah. I mean, but like if there's, you got a good looking guy like this, super charismatic, give him some sort of, hurdle to climb over and I don't know. Like, I just feel like he would be good at something like that. And we don't see enough kind of nice and happy and or flusteredly funny Michael B. Jordan too awful much. I'd like to see that a little bit more, trying to humanize him a little bit for us. He seems so perfect.
So like a Knocked Up 2.
Yeah, Knocked Up 2, but we still have Judd do it, but Judd has to write all black dialogue, so I'm sure that'll go well.
Yeah, that won't be problematic at all. That won't sound like the Jews who wrote for What's Happening.
Everyone is a jive turkey, and we hope all of you jive turkeys have had a good time hanging out here on the HMP Dinger Zone and everything, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
All right, so we'll add the Dinger Zone stuff in there and everything. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, chat, and everything. We really appreciate you. You all lovely, and next week we're going to be going out to the theater, so check us out there, and we'll see you guys later. All right, stop.